tetutietab tililindo eng Kass TV amu kimnatet naet.
Welcome back to Tililinda program. My name is Chemtai Kirui. If you're joining me right now, I'm sitting down with Bancy Murima, who is the founder of Crystal Homecare Kenya. And she's here with us tonight to talk about another way of accessing medical services. And this is the home-based healthcare services. We've spoken about a lot of things, and we are coming to the tail end, but this is where the meat of stories always comes in, you know. We've spoken about what it means when we're talking about home-based healthcare services, and also critical care needs and palliative care and issues like that. Bancy, also, you mentioned about financial ways that people can use cards, for example, and there are also insurance that are given from, for example, my medical healthcare services at work that I can use, Yes. But I was just wondering, in terms of cost effectiveness, how is it compared to someone who has to go to the hospital to access this service?
Home health is, in comparison to hospital, home health is quite affordable. Again, time being of value, it is quite cost effective. Again, at the comfort of your home these days, you'll have your lab samples collected. Actually, even a few teleradiology services are also available. I know there are places who do remote ultrasound and remote x-rays. So for a patient who will need to do that, they'll actually come to your house and do it. So that's the first thing in terms to costing. You can also use your insurance card. And even when you see what you're going to swipe in a hospital versus what you're going to swipe in home care, let's say home care is quite affordable by such a big gap. Again, we are the primary healthcare providers. So that tiny small illness, okay, I'm not going to tell that tiny and small, that tiny illness doesn't require you to go to hospital, make hospital queues, interact with people, other patients with different illnesses, and you actually, maybe probably came with something very simple and then you go home with something very complex. So home health is much, let's say, not even cost effective. It's so seamless. It's easy to access. It's easy to just like pick and go, just like ordering an Uber and you take it and go home. It's the same thing other than going and looking for a taxi manually. So there's a lot of adaptability when it comes to home care. Let me just say that.
And especially with the urban setup and a lot of things, like we're hustling day and night. And I love the fact that with home-based healthcare services, I'm just sitting here listening to you, and I'm looking at the health-seeking behavior, especially when it comes to gentlemen, and even us, when you're working and you're leaving home, work this late, you feel like, oh, I'm not feeling well, but I don't have time to go to the hospital, then there's this service that you can access, right? Because these tiny things become big things if you don't watch out.
Again, there's someone who told me a stitch in time saves life. That small bit to do for your healthcare will save you a lot if it gets complex. If you ignore a small tooth decay, it could lead into even a bad infection, and sometimes even people die from a simple tooth carie. So again, make your, never ignore anything when it comes to your health, and actually take care of your health. Make it a priority. The same way make a priority to set an alarm in the morning, actually even set a priority to know the amount of time you're going to work, set a priority to your exercises and what you're going to eat. The small things really matter. And I think that's how also home care and telemedicine quite intermarry. Because at that point when you are asking a doctor, hi, where can I get this? Where am I struggling with this? You're able to get that seamless answer at the comfort of even your office. I'm having a headache. Daktari, what do I do? And they're like, okay, I think probably this. Have you tried this? Have you taken maybe enough water? Probably that's what you needed to hear. And then you're able to solve that problem. But if the headache doesn't stop, that's when you tell you actually seek, go to a medical provider, or now actually consult at a point of one-on-one.
Yeah.
Again, you can actually call your doctor to come to your office. Hey, Bancy, send me a doctor. I'm at CAS today. I'm feeling a bit off, but I really don't have time to go to where you are. So let me send you a doctor. The doctor will come and tell you, hey, I don't think you're actually going through this. Let's try do a bit of lab works. Probably you even, maybe even having challenges with your eyes. So those things that could be solved instantly.
Yeah.
That could be good. I think that's something very workable.
Yeah.
Especially with the hustling nation.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, I know, right? And we really need that, especially when we realize that even when you're rushing through, when your health is failing, honestly, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. And we've seen cases where people now, you get sick, you've been ignoring it, and then it becomes a burden, and finance and everything in between becomes trouble.
Yeah.
There's someone who's watching at home and they're like, I don't know. This sounds like a Kizungu issue, Zungu issues. No. For someone who is unsure and probably they're finding this information for the first time, what would you tell them in terms of why they need to consider home-based healthcare services?
Actually, I will not tell you don't doubt. Try. Jaribu uone, and then you'll actually find the difference between the both cares. And I can tell you for sure, home health is quite convenient. The doctor coming to your house, I mean, I would want that anytime. I'm actually not feeling so, doctor, come and check on my leg. Well, I'm still watching Netflix and chill, or even working from home. So those things make I think, let me tell them, come and try. Read more about it and actually understand why it actually, and how best it fits you. Again, it is convenient healthcare. Right? It's convenient, which is reliable, easy to go healthcare. Yeah.
And I love the fact that so you've come from hospital, maybe you've had surgery.
Yes.
You'll need the service.
Yes.
You've given birth and you're back home with your child.
Yes.
We've seen cases where incidents happen in between, right?
Yes.
So parents come, a mom comes home with a child, and the next minute you're talking about something else, you know?
Yes.
So in every aspect, when it comes to ensuring that you're really taking care of your health, your services comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say you've just delivered and you did a cesarean section. Usual hospital time that you stay, probably maximum of 5 days. Most of the time it's actually for 3 days, depending on where you go. So you've gone home, you have a scar, you're trying to also breastfeed. Probably you're a new mother, you're trying to even understand the dynamics of the baby crying every other time. You don't know how they feed, whether they get enough food. Others have colic pain and they're crying so much, and you still have to deal with also you being a patient, trying to nurse a wound, and you having a nurse there to help you.
Yeah.
Imagine that burden getting out of you, and now you can take care of yourself. Because that nurse will, or maybe even express the milk, and you just give the baby. I mean, you also need to be a person first to even become a better mother to this child. So those are things that home health really feels like you cannot compare that to a hospital. There's no nurse who's going to leave that hospital and come with you at home. I'm not going to lie to you.
True.
Even if you go to the world class of the hospitals in this country.
Bye.
They'll be like, nice to see you, all the best when you go at home. But at home now, we are with you now. Let's help you feed your child. Let's help you, let's help you take care of your wound. Is it even getting infection? At that point, I'm able to tell you, is it the time we need to go to hospital for a checkup? Are you going through a lot of pain? Are you bleeding more than it's required? Is this child even changing color, with something that actually happens when people go home? Is this baby getting fever? Are we feeding enough? Are we losing weight? Those are things that are actually gotten from that point of view. So,
what a day to be alive, you know, especially for women with all the burdens that we carry, honestly. And now that we are talking about it, we have someone, a friend who gave birth, and then there was a nurse who was coming in during the night and the day, and we used to be like, what a soft life.
Yeah, soft
you
life.
know?
No.
Now I'm listening to you, and it's accessible to everyone, really, and essential.
And I'm not going to, don't even take it for granted. If you actually talk to this mother, there's a lot of even hormonal changes that affects even their mental state. They will be cranky for no reason. They'll be quite emotional for maybe even for a reason, but very tiny. But for you, it could be no reason, but for them, it could be something very important to them. Again, supporting this mother will make an outcome of this child. I told you, a better child requires a better mom. So all those people need to be well taken care of, and that's how nurses also come to do something called newborn mother care that also Crystal does. So again, we want to complement the healthcare to ensure the primary, most basic need is met. You say dignity? Yes. Because imagine now you've had a child, you're also still bleeding from the delivery of the child. Others also get sick after that. The wound is very painful as well. The sleeping is very uncomfortable. The breastfeeding is painful. And then you're telling this mother to stay this child. Eventually, this mother will start resenting this child or even resenting the father of the child. Those are things that affect the outcome of this baby who is in the world, who is as innocent as we don't know.
Yeah. And the depression, we keep talking, and we've reported here cases of a mom doing
they actually get
things,
something called postpartum depression, which is actually very, very common at this day and age. Others even lose jobs. Some employers, unfortunately, don't even give maternity leaves and actually stop paying them at the moment where they deliver and only pay them again. Now you see, you're even trying to you ask yourself, are you going to pay the house girl? What are you going to use to feed your child with? So those things, and then you're telling them this baby is crying at night and not stopping. How is that mother going to feel? Very, very painful. Yes. So again, I think let's adopt it. Let's adopt convenient healthcare. Let's adopt something that you can. If there's something good you can do for yourself, do for yourself. It's a bad quote, but you only live once, and you want to live it to the maximum of your best. Actually, explore the best of yourself.
You don't have to struggle. When there are
it's not soft life, actually.
It's not soft. It's essential.
It's a necessity.
Now I know. Before I was like, ooh, okay. Now, someone is watching also. Someone is like, this is something I'm glad I'm getting the information, but I'm wondering, are there steps that I need to take when I want to reach out to Crystal Homecare?
All right. We have, we are online. Again, when you Google Crystal Homecare and you call, I'll answer. It usually rings on my phone. We also have a team that works with us. We are able to have this one manage this, one manage this. So at the point where before we even adopt, we have conversations. And we actually use your primary doctor to know where we are. If you need us to change your doctor, that is at the point where you say you want again. It's private healthcare, so the client says, the client gets. So it's the same thing. So you can call me on my number. I think, I don't know whether you put it or I need to say it out loud.
They'll say it.
I say it loud.
No, they'll say it,
yes. I think she will share my number. But if you Google Crystal Homecare, you'll actually see. If you need to book us, also just call. We'll actually schedule you to whatever it is. Me and my team will manage you.
Yes. No, this is really important. Bancy, and like I said, when I called you, I think you remember, this is a conversation you need to put out there, because we've seen cases where people are struggling because of lack of information. And here at Cast Media, there's something we say, Kimnatet Night. It basically means knowledge is power.
Okay,
Kimnatet Night. And if there's one thing we want to push when it comes to this program on Tililinda, it's about health access, healthcare, and health awareness. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to come here and have this conversation. And you've mentioned a lot of terms, really. When you talked about palliative care, this is a conversation for 1 hour. So I'm really hoping I'll get you back here in studio to break this down a little bit more.
We'll talk about every single detail.
And our viewers are watching from Eldoret, Nandi, Kericho, Bomet, and places like that. They also need to know that this service is accessible to them, right?
Yes, it is.
So I was wondering, is there a final message that you'd like to leave with us before we wind up?
I had a quote for you.
Please.
Let me use my phone to read it. It says, healing is not just medicine. It's about compassion, comfort and care. True wellness is where the heart feels at home.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Deep.
In another word, you'll have said tafakari ya babu.
No. For sure. Thank you so much, Bancy.
You're
We really
welcome.
appreciate you, and thank you for coming in and having this conversation with us.
All right.
Hoping to get you here again soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, you've heard from Bancy Murima. She is the founder of Crystal Home Healthcare Service, and she was here tonight to talk to us about understanding home healthcare services. What is it? How do you access it? And when you access it, what are some of the services that you expect to find? That's why we're here at Tilinda program every Monday, to bring you conversation that helps you understand your health, and also steps that you can take so that you can become healthy enough to build this hustle nation, you know.
The Hustlers Nation.
The Hustlers Nation. My name is Chemtai Kirui. I'm sitting in for Chesankaro Sirma. Hoping to see you next time, same place. Until then, continue watching the rest of our programming and have a blessed night. Bye-bye.